Hello, welcome back to my channel. Have you ever studied anything or read information that you felt was the most wonderful thing that you could ever read? Well, that's how I feel about cognitive behavioral therapy. In short, CBT. The reason I like it so much is because there are so many principles and there are so many concepts that anyone can use to help change their lives. So that's why I love it. And so I really want to teach as many people as I can about CBT. And it will do for you what it has done for me. So today we're just going to talk about some concepts and some principles and basically we're going to talk about there was this guy who was very important in psychology. His name was Albert Ellis. And basically what he did was he wrote something called Ellis's 14 self-defeating rules. When we think about defeat, we think, when we think about victory, we're all up here. And so he's trying to let us know that there are some things that we think that pretty much messes us up from the beginning. Okay? So the first one is 14. I'm only going to go over about 5 or 6 of them. Come see me for the rest. So the first one is, I need everyone to approve of me. Why? Why is that important? Are you this person that is so busy trying to please everybody that you are just wearing yourself out? We're made differently. We have grown up in different cultures. There's no possible way that everybody's going to like you or everybody's going to approve you. So I think you put a big weight on your shoulders when you're walking around thinking, they've got to like me. They've got to like me. And let me tell you, no, they don't have to like you. And in some instances, they don't like you. And they don't have to have a reason for not liking you. They just don't like you. I must succeed in everything that I do. If I don't, I won't have value. Well, that's not true. Look at all the millionaires and the billionaires and the really, really successful people. They can all attest to the fact that things didn't start out like they wanted. They failed several times. But the thing about failing is just get up and dust the dirt off of your feet and just keep going. Try something else or just tweak whatever it is you're trying to make happen. But you don't have to succeed. We want you to, be successful, yes, to the point, but not to the point where it's driving you nuts to try to succeed. Okay? So, no, it has nothing to do with your value if you don't succeed. So, another one is, I can't make mistakes. If I do, I'm a bad person. No, that's not true. Can you imagine the mistakes that any one person can make on a daily basis? If you spend all this time trying to be perfect, you're really going to wear yourself out. Do you know that there is not one perfect person in the world? Not one. Jesus is the only perfect one. We are not perfect, you know. And when I hear people say, well, he is a perfectionist or she's a perfectionist, and I just think, okay, they're going to wear themselves out because there's no such thing. What about she does the best possible job she can do, or he does the best possible job that he can do? What about that? Trying to be perfect. You know what that does? It causes stress. That's what it does, right? It causes stress. So If you think, which is another one of the 14 self-defeating rules, if you think that everyone should work to make you happy, sounds like somebody spoiled to me. That's what it sounds like. Everybody doesn't have to work to make you happy. That's not their job. You know whose job it is to make you happy? That's your job, not everybody else's job. You know? So this is something that, you're doing and that you can cause stress in your own life. So the last one I'm going to talk about is everything in life must work out the way I want it to. And that is so funny. That's funny. Sometimes you can make plans for yourself and then God has other plans for you. And then, submitting to his plans are what's going to be more important because he knows what's best for you. And what you thought you were going to grow up and you were going to do just doesn't work out because he knows that you wouldn't do well in that area. So no, everything is not going to work out. Chances are some people now, they go to school and they make good grades and they go to college and then they meet the special someone and then they graduate and then they get married and then they have the children and they have the white picket fence and all that stuff. For some people, it works out a little, mostly like that, I guess, for some people, but not all people. It doesn't work like that because life throws you curves. There will be trials, as the Bible puts it. There will be things that happen that you didn't expect, but then when they happen, you can't lay down and die. You can't just dwell on the fact that just did not work out like I thought it worked out. Again, shake the dust from your feet and you have to get up and you have to move on. You have to move forward in life, right? You can't stay back when you thought things were okay and now here it is. Let's take, for instance, someone loses a loved one. A woman had not worked outside the home and she took care of the children and she took care of the house and she took care of the mother and took care of the husband. But you can't say that that's not work because that's really some of the hardest work anybody can have. And then the husband dies and now the wife has to pick up and pretty much start over. So we can't say that we expect all the time for everything to work out for us. So I'm going to leave you with a few things. One thing that I want you to remember, that everybody is solely responsible for their thoughts, the way they act, their feelings, and their behaviors. It's only you. Okay? You are the one who's responsible for that. So by me saying that, then something someone says to you, even if you feel like it's offensive, then perhaps you shouldn't take it in such a horrible way that you will just feel awful because that person said that to you. So you're responsible for how you feel. So you just kind of have to turn that thing around and say, okay, this was a situation and something may have happened and they usually don't talk to me like this and, and just move on. But don't dwell in it. All people, do you hear me when I say all people, have the ability to choose a new set of habits, a new set of thoughts, a new set of patterns, and a new set of behaviors. We all have that ability. So just because you were raised a certain way, and I hear people say all the time, but that's the way I've always done it. But just because that's the way you've always done it, it doesn't mean that it's a good way. And it doesn't mean that you should continue doing the things that you've always done, especially if the outcomes are not that great. So before I go, I'm going to leave you with a little quote. And this quote is from Gandhi. And it says, "Beliefs become thoughts. Our thoughts become words. Our words become habits. Our habits become values. And our values become our destiny." Have a blessed day.